Please listen carefully.
Hello, universe. Welcome to the Optimist Daily Update. I'm Summers McKay.
And I'm Kristy Jansen, and we are part of the team behind the Optimist Daily, making solutions the news. We bring you reader-funded solutions news every day in order to change the tenor of news media, social media, and the direction of your day to help make it one focused on solutions.
7 days a week, we publish positive news stories written by award-winning journalists and delivered online to your inbox and through our social channels. And also, we are sharing these solutions in a commute-worthy, walk-worthy, home office-worthy, TGIF-worthy podcast. Today is Friday, the 19th of February, 2021. Hello, Kristy. Good morning. How are you, my friend?
Good morning, Summers. I am well. It's a good day. Good Friday. I can't believe it's the end of another week.
Well, I think that you sound a little tired already this morning. Do you want to share why? Because your answer of I'm fine, I'm well. Actually, I think you should fess up. You're exhausted. You've already exercised. You've been up since 5. You're just nailing it.
I've done more before 9 than most people do all day. No, I'm just kidding. I've been working. I've done my exercise. I took the dog for a walk and fed him. Yes, I've done a lot this morning so far. I've been up since 5, and I don't have children with me. I mean, I have little ones with me right now, so I can't blame it on toddlers. But I'm a little tired.
You said that you hit your snooze button a couple times this morning. So
I did. I was supposed to get up at 4:30, and that didn't.
Lady, that's crazy talk.
Because for me, that early morning is one of the best writing periods, and
yes.
I wanted to use that time. The world is quiet, and that's when I can get in touch with my source. But I was too sleepy.
I likewise hit my snooze button a couple times this morning. And by hit my snooze button, I mean handed the baby a bottle and put on cartoons and crawled in bed holding her tight when she got up at 5, which apparently she was channeling you because she knew you were up. And she was like, Mommy, Kristy's at work. Why aren't you? So yeah, I am better rested, and I actually slept until 6:24 this morning. I feel very luxurious, and I feel very luxurious and very optimistic for this weekend ahead. We had a fantastic budget meeting yesterday for Optimist Daily. You know, we've spent the last year really, really working on the business model and proving what has been our beta test for the viability of this business. And we've got some great data and we've got some great numbers, and we know that our marketing investment, when we get new free subscribers, that we end up raising the bar on our paid subscriptions to help this business be healthy. So I'm pretty excited from that standpoint. It's one of those meetings that I somewhat dread, because when you really get down to the numbers, you've got to look yourself in the eye and say, is this a viable business? And Kristy, it is. So we've got some big expansions for our market to look forward to in the next couple quarters, and we're pretty excited around here. So
it is. And I do think that there's a feeling that I'm sensing in our audience and just in the world of a desire for folks that are focused on solutions and focused on what we can do and not just what's all getting messed up, right?
Exactly.
I mean, acknowledging the things that are problematic, but then asking, so we've got some issues. How do we fix them? And actually being productive and positive and trying to make things a little better and also be kinder to each other and nicer. Right. So all of those things are ideas that I really enjoy.
Yeah, I think there's a kindness in seeking the solutions. In the past, if there was a problem, it'd be like, well, here's my solution and here's my solution. And now it's here are all the potential solutions. Let's talk them through.
And I mean, solutions aren't siloed, and no one person's going to have the only right answer, right? We have to come together and figure out what's going to work, and different things are going to work in different contexts.
In different ways. Exactly.
And, So let's try everything.
Well, speaking of solutions and context, what solution did you like this morning on the Optimist Daily?
All right. So the story that I am going to talk about, the headline reads, Affordable Housing and Vertical Farms, a match made in heaven? ? And I love this solution. I love this story. It's really an innovation and an interesting idea. We've written about vertical farms and indoor farming and urban farming and that need to bring that kind of food production closer in. and how new technologies and new methodologies are being used to improve sustainability. And we've also written a lot about affordable housing and how we need to mix things up a little bit, not just have the ideal, the little white picket fence with a yard and a home, and it's not very efficient use of land. And affordable housing is something that we really need, especially in urban areas and even suburban areas and more. So this story is about this idea, which is a multi-story greenhouse, which is being constructed within an affordable housing development by a company called Vertical Harvest. They see that the farm plus housing is a way to solve many of the urban problems that have become abundantly clear during the coronavirus pandemic. And they were already becoming clear even before that. They're working on I think there's one place which is now being built and they're going to be going out through the country. But it's an affordable housing complex that also has a greenhouse in it. And the buildings themselves on the ground level will offer community access. And then the greenhouse fills the second, third, and fourth floors, covering about 70,000 square feet, growing around 1 million pounds of produce every year. The Vertical Harvest says that the amount of housing per site will vary, but in Maine, there's going to be 15 units. The vertical farm will also create 50 jobs. So residents can buy fresh produce on site. And then the plan is to open up the farms for local folks as well. They're going to be doing developments in Chicago and Philadelphia, as well as other places around the country. And I just think it's interesting because it allows for housing, community development, food production, and jobs. And all of these things right together, it adds to resilience. It adds to that sense of community building, because when you grow stuff together, it knits the community together on an emotional level too. I just think this is a really neat, interesting combination of how
it changes, it changes the game and the notion of affordable housing, right? Affordable housing, certainly historically speaking, affordable housing has, if it was all built together, if it was not mixed use housing, if it was not, Section 8 or whatever, if it was just tenements, these affordable housing notions could become very dark, not happy, good places, not communities. And I think we have to just sort of go straight to it, that this is like an abandonment of the notion of a tenement and the abandonment of the notion of, that's an affordable housing building. This is a community. This is an affordable community building. And this is taking the idea that it's not just about housing people, it's about giving them a community, giving them purpose, giving them space, and giving them healthy food access.
And it's not just giving. It's more of a partnership with I think this one in Maine is the greenhouse is being built within an existing complex. So it's adding to housing, which is already there or is already being developed, but it improves access to healthy food and improve that greenery. We wrote about that the other day about how planting trees in more
tiny forests.
Exactly. But the urban areas that usually don't have trees because it's not seen as an efficient use of space, right? It's not a building. You can't rent a tree. But having those kind of common green areas improves the mental health, the emotional health, the physical health of the people who live there. Healthy food, resilient, nourishing jobs, fair housing. All of these things are in this. It's an urban redevelopment tool that's helping to bring sort of a human scale back to this kind of design. So I like it.
I love it too. And, it sort of dovetails into the notion that when we have these purpose-driven and intentional communities and businesses, they all do better. And so yesterday I was at the supermarket and good old Vital Farms eggs were there. And of course they were a bit more expensive than what we normally get. But I was like, Will, we have to get these, to my husband. And we have to buy these eggs exclusively from now on because I'm an Optimist Daily reader and love learning about Vital Farms. And that's kind of my segue to the story that I liked today, which reads, "We are more likely to trust and patron purpose-driven companies," from the business section of the Optimist Daily. Now, it should come as no surprise to listeners of the Optimist Daily Update that businesses that are purpose-driven are well in our sort of wheelhouse. We love writing about them, we love reading about them, we love celebrating them, and we love learning from their models. It turns out that actually customer loyalty is deeply intertwined with the notion of purpose-driven, which basically means that if a business has a clear goal and objective beyond just profits, usually in relation to environmental, social justice, or health initiatives. A recent study of about 1,200 consumers demonstrated that it wasn't advertising, it wasn't brand recommendation, it was a purpose-driven perspective and brand focus that was one of the most sticky points for any customer relationship. In the survey, 72% of respondents said they were more likely to remember a purpose-driven company, and 78% said they were more likely to want to work for them. 71% said that if they were more likely to buy from a purpose-driven company over an alternative, if the cost and quality were the same, and 62% said it was important to consider the purpose of a company before buying from it, even if it was an impulse buy. I have gone into my shopping cart for Tom's shoes now about 35 times. There's the cutest pair of Tom's shoes that I want to get, but I'm refusing to let myself buy anything during this move. But I keep trying to go back and forth between, well, it's really, I'm doing good by buying these shoes, but not for my family. So anyway, in summation, this article is not a surprise to us and probably not a surprise to you, but it's nice to see the research backing up what we intrinsically know is that businesses that do good can and do well.
I think that what this is also a signal of is consumer awareness and the idea that we can vote with our dollars what kinds of corporate behavior we want to support or not support. And that's something that has become more and more evident over the last probably 10 years, where you have the ability to, actually move company behavior by saying, hey, we're not going to support you anymore. We're going to boycott your products because you're being unethical in one way or another.
Yeah.
And we want to support this other product that is being more than ethical. They're actually adding to our social benefit, not just detracting from it. So I think that's sort of.
And then adding to that, not only can we talk with our dollars, but we can talk with our hours and our labor.
Yes.
And
our
people
attention.
are choosing to work for companies that do good and do well.
Because it feels good. When you're going to work for a company, and this is why I'm here at the Optimist Daily and at the World Business Academy instead of my former corporate roles, because I want to work for a company that is doing more than just trying to make money. It doesn't motivate me. I'm not motivated by just making lots of money. I mean, as long as I have a roof over my head and, shoes for the kid and healthcare, I mean, that's really what you need, right?
Yeah.
Healthcare, those basic things. Then I want to help make the world a better place. And if I can do that with my work, that's a good thing.
Well, in that we do that with our work, there are some other great headlines on the Optimist Daily today, where our hearts are in Texas, not just because I'm moving there, but because of what they're going through. And there's a great story about volunteers in Texas saving thousands of sea turtles from the cold. There's a great story about how 12th century Islamic bathhouse was discovered above a tapas bar. That's a pretty gorgeous
urban
discovery.
Archaeology there.
Exactly. Chefs are using dumplings to bridge racial divides in the Bay Area. And then there's 4 benefits of virtual reality that go beyond entertainment. I love it. Armchair travel. Let's do it. What else do we have?
The European Space Agency is seeking to hire astronauts with disabilities, opening up the Space Force to others who are differently abled. How to help people facing winter storms in Texas right now. There's an article about how you can actually get involved and offer support. Some ideas we've written about that for fires in the past. But now you can help people who are in the freezing, frigid weather in Texas. E-bikes will soon be available on a subscription basis in New York City. So it's not just bike sharing, but actually not owning, but an ongoing subscription to your very own e-bike. And then in a Cambridge study, robots, laughter, and meditation are all things that can relieve loneliness. That's in robot dogs. So just having a pet, even if it's not a warm-blooded one, can really help you. So maybe your Roomba that talks to you.
Exactly. My robot Roomba, Roomba update, because I know everyone really cares about my Roomba. This morning, the Roomba got stuck. And Brennan, Roomba, yelled at us in Portuguese and asked us for assistance. Brennan ran over and went, Roomba stuck, moved it and pressed the on button and turned it back on. Like she actually unstuck the Roomba. So there's communication between my robot vacuum and my daughter, and AI is coming. That's all I have to say about that. You guys, thanks everybody for listening to the Optimist Daily Update and weird stories from Summers' household. We promise to continue to share positive solution-based stories with ideas on how you can participate in this changing world and ensure it is changed for the good. We promise to cover the current events with accuracy, legitimate sources, and offer you the information needed most to chart new paths for all of us.
And please consider becoming an emissary in the optimistdaily.com, and for just $5 a month or more, you can help support reader-funded independent journalism and be a part of the solution-changing consciousness that addresses our world's biggest challenges with a problem-solving mindset. Please help us keep the Optimist Daily free for all who need it, supported by those of us who can. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday.
Bye.